Now, many of you already know that by 2025, it is NIO's intentions to find themselves penetrating the US market. But one of the things that you will know regarding the US market is that it is not an easy market to penetrate, as US has enforced laws that makes it very difficult for EV companies or EV makers like NIO from China to penetrate the US, which is something that, of course, we have read about. I mean, it is for this reason why even the CEO of NIO said that they wish, or they are hoping that, of course, the US can ease some of these laws or regulations so that they can easily penetrate and make the US a place where there is fair competition, because they believe, or what they are saying is, of course, they're saying it not being fair for the US to impose this kind of restrictions, whereas the Chinese market is open to everyone. This is what the the NIO CEO has been complaining about, and to get to say that they are still debating this issue, ladies and gents, it is something that is not, of course, good. But of course, the intentions, like I said, are for NIO to penetrate the US by 2025. Now, some of the restrictions that you will know that the US lawmakers are imposing is that for the Chinese EV makers to be able to, of course, sell cars in the US, they must have not only a factory in the US, but they must also buy local batteries from the US, which makes it very difficult, because as the of course, CEO of NIO US said, NIO suppliers, or most of the NIO suppliers, are in China and don't have, or they have not, those suppliers did not establish, or they are not established in the US, which makes it, or will make it, very difficult for a company like NIO to be able to easily sell cars in the US, because there are not many suppliers that can supply the kind of parts, the kind of material that NIO uses when they are producing their cars, which makes it a bit difficult, which is why the article that we just read today is emphasizing the point that NIO is looking for partnerships that will enable them to penetrate the US market. But as it stands, it looks like things are things are not that clear if whether it will be possible for NIO to penetrate this US market or not. Things are still a bit difficult, but hopefully they get a partner, or they find a company who they can partner with that will enable, or that partnership enables them to start selling their cars in the US by 2025. I mean, many of you will know that the NIO cars are quite a beauty, and they bring, or there is no doubt that they will bring a fierce competition into the US market, which probably part of the reason why the US lawmakers are sort of like restricting most of these companies to enter the US. They are probably fearing competition that these Chinese EV makers could bring into the US market. I mean, you will know that in the US right now, there are not many EV companies, or many companies playing or selling EVs in America, which makes it, of course, a bit easier for companies like Tesla to flourish, for companies like Rivian, Lucid to, of course, try to, of course, grab some of the market share, because, ladies and gentlemen, there's not much competition. Competition in this fast growing EV industry is right there in China. You will know that in China there are so many companies that are in a business of selling these EV cars, or producing and selling these EV cars, which makes competition to be very tough there. And to me, I think those companies that can survive this fierce competition that we are seeing in China for the next coming 3 years, chances are those companies will be able to run for the longest time, or for a long time, which is something that, of course, I think NIO will be one of those companies. Yes, I know delivery wise NIO is improving, but probably it's not selling the kind of deliveries that so many of the investors want. But this is a company that nonetheless we are seeing growth, regardless of this fierce competition that is currently in China. We are seeing NIO growing in terms of sales, which is something that is pretty good. Now, you will know that China is not the only destination when you're selling their cars. They are also selling their cars into 5 European countries, where we are seeing, of course, some slight improvement in terms of deliveries or sales that NIO is generating onto those countries, which is something that is pretty good. And I'm not surprised to see, of course, an improvement there, because not only has NIO deployed some of their best, of course, or not only is NIO selling some of their best models in Europe, but they are also giving benefits to those that choose to opt some of their services like bus, which entails them swapping the batteries in their car, which there is no EV maker, or there's not a lot of EV makers that are deploying such, of course, a technology that entails the users to swap batteries in less than 5 minutes, or rather than, of course, going the normal route of charging your cars. These are some of the benefits that, of course, or some of the things that you could enjoy when you buy a NIO car in Europe, which these, ladies and gents, I personally believe that it will continue encouraging, or it will continue attracting people, consumers, to want to buy the NIO cars, as they want to get the convenience that technologies like battery swapping stations provides to those that buy the NIO cars and subscribe. So I'm very excited about that, and the fact that we are seeing sales slightly improving in almost all the European countries makes me to be, of course, excited. And I would like to continue saying, especially now that we are in Q4, where we tend to see, of course, deliveries improving in the entire automaker, or in the even in this EV industry, which is something that makes me look forward to the kind of sales that NIO will generate in Europe now in Q4. Otherwise, in China, I think so we have high hopes of NIO delivering quite good deliveries, I must say, and these are the deliveries that, as I've said, my prediction for the month of November, I would like to see NIO hitting an all-time high when it comes to the deliveries. And yeah, I must say, after the first week of the NEV insurance registrations, it is not that bad. I think we can still hit an all-time high when it comes to deliveries right now for this month in October, which will be something that, of course, will be so amazing. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell, so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, it is still difficult, or NIO has not found a clear path yet in terms of penetrating the US by 2025. But hopefully they find partnerships, or hopefully they find a way that will make them penetrate that market, because it will unlock some good sales there, as based on the streets of social media we can easily see that NIO has got a lot of fans into the US, and so many of the US consumers have been asking the question, when is NIO coming to the US, meaning that they have got potential, or they are potential customers currently waiting for NIO to just penetrate the US market so that they can buy the cars. Otherwise, that's all from me, and God bless you all.